On August 29th, 2022, my father passed away. And the 6 to 9 months that followed that were probably the 6 to 9 hardest months of my entire life. I was going through an extreme grief process, trying to process what had just happened with him. And at the same time, my body started to fail, for lack of a better word. And I didn't realize it at the time because I was so far down, trying to figure out how I was going to move forward. But things were not going well. And it started off slow and then ramped up and ramped up. And finally, I realized something was pretty terribly wrong at doing some routine testing. And I went on this 2 to 3 year journey at that point that followed from, the end of 2022 through mid 2025, in that general time range. I started going to see different specialists all throughout my state, the state of South Carolina, to try to figure out what was wrong with me. And everyone was mystified. No one could figure it out. And there was a lot of pretty important procedures and life-saving type treatments that I had to go through. At one point, my kidney function almost completely obliterated itself. It dropped down to 18% from an acute kidney injury at one point. My red blood cells and hemoglobin kept dropping. I needed constant blood transfusion. I'd have to wear blood band bracelets. It was other people's amazing gift of this lifeblood, literal blood that they were so blessed to give to someone else that saved my life during those moments. But no one in my state could figure out what was wrong with me. So eventually I made it to Rochester, Minnesota, to the Mayo Clinic, had to go out of pocket. My insurance unfortunately did not cover these visits and it was quite expensive, but they were able to run some more in-depth tests and figure out what was my actual issue, which was lupus, which is extremely rare for men and white men. And I have a whole other TikTok channel that I spent, many years creating videos on, documenting that journey. If you ever want to check that out, Unflaregettable. But those were some really tough years. Not only the grief and trying to process losing my father, but what happened to my body after the pain that I always experienced, the days that I would have to lay in bed, couldn't get out of bed, just severe joint issues, the constant worry that my blood levels were going to drop too low and I wouldn't make it, the constant worry that my kidneys were going to fail, having to get multiple biopsies, including a bone marrow biopsy at one point, the constant thought of different types of cancers. But it was, needless to say, it was a very, very difficult time and it really changed my perspective on life. So kind of coming out of that, in the Mayo Clinic visit, I was able to find a medication that literally basically stabilized things for now. So my blood levels, my kidneys, after a year on the medication, life isn't perfect. There's still a lot of pain, but it really gave me a chance. I feel like another chance at life that I'm not going to waste, which I before all of this, I always loved traveling. But after this, I really kicked it up a notch. And so I took this opportunity of being in this new stabilized state that I don't know how long is going to last. And I really want to see the world. I want to go to every continent. I want to travel to countries I've never been to. And along this time, when I was kind of starting to get stabilized, in July of 2025, I took a solo cruise and basically by accident spent some time in the adult arcade and ended up walking out with a really good free cruise offer. It actually came in my email a little bit later down the road, but I stumbled upon this whole world of casino comped cruising. And what I've done for, my professional background for almost 24 years, so well over 2 decades, is marketing, specifically digital marketing, but studying the behavior of people and how to influence that behavior through, positive benefit to help people make purchases, for companies. to generate leads, to generate revenue. And so when this happened, I started diving headfirst, trying to figure out, what this meant and how can I get more of these. And I really think I have a special combination of skills of all of the hours and hours and probably hundreds of hours that I've used analyzing different casino comps. I've also taken 21 cruises, and the last, I think, 7 or 8 of those have been comped. And across all different lines. So Royal, Virgin, Norwegian, Carnival, Margaritaville, MSC. So I have a wide variety of knowledge, but it's my perspective that I think can really, truly help people. And I think that there's a lot of knowledge out there, but I think some of it is, I won't say misleading, but sometimes, clickbaity, trying to get views. And I think if there could be a general, really nice baseline understanding of what these programs are, what they do, what they provide, when different consumers should be careful, when they shouldn't use them at all, maybe, but how they can benefit everybody. Because that's the whole idea. It's a marketing offer. It's a benefit exchange, a value exchange. The casinos need to receive benefit too, or they wouldn't do this for anybody. So if anybody's out there thinking that they're trying to trick or circumvent or do anything sly to trick the casinos, first of all, no, you're not. And second of all, long term, it's not going to work. But I think I can use this channel to really help people, seize life, seize the world, and use comped cruising to be able to do that in a much more affordable way. Just from comps last year, I was able to do a back-to-back Virgin Royal in a week in Greece and then a week in Italy, Croatia. And a huge bucket list cruise this year in January went to Antarctica on a 14-day comped cruise on Celebrity. And have a very, very special journey coming up for you in a couple months. And I just want to educate people, provide a lot of educational videos on this comp system, but that's why this channel was created. Travel Plus One Life. You see it behind me. I basically want to bring people along on my travels, Travel Plus One, but I want to remind people about the shortness and brevity of life, the one life aspect of this channel, and why you should do it now. There's so many people that are going to retire with millions of dollars and get sick a month later and never get a chance to enjoy it or experience it. And travel provides so much benefit in this life. There's so much that so many people can get from travel. I love when you go out and you see the world and you're put in these situations with people that you would never, ever be in otherwise. And that you get to learn from their backgrounds and go to different cultures and try different foods and see different parts of the world that you would never, ever see. The time to do those things is now. It's not waiting till retirement, hoping for retirement. Who even knows? And I know there's different budgetary constraints. The economy is not fantastic right now, but that's where some of these programs like Casino Comp Cruisings can truly help. So I'm going to create a series. I'm going to break down this information for everybody in just almost like casino comps for dummies. Not insinuating that anybody's dumb, but you don't know what you don't know. And I've spent so much time analyzing these programs and trying to find the best way to utilize them so that, it's worth it. And so I want to share that information with all of you. And I want to help you cruise and see the world in ways that you never thought possible. So welcome to my channel. Welcome along for the journey. I'm so glad you're here. And I can't wait to show you where I go and teach you what I know. And remember, life is short, so you might as well travel. Love you guys and talk to you soon.